Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. It is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. We will call this meeting to order. Do we have any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions.
Thank you. And County Council, would you mind reading the closed session items?
Not at all, Madam Chair. Good morning. There are 3 items for your closed session agenda. The first is conference with your labor negotiators under Government Code Section 54957.6. Your agency designated representatives are Assistant County Administrative Officer Joel Bugay, your Director of Human Resources Shanika Dixon, and your Human Resources Manager Sabrina Mendez. The employee organization, all units, and unrepresented employees, all classifications excluding elected officials, are what to be discussed. Under Government Code Section 54956.9, there's anticipated litigation and conference with your legal counsel to decide whether to initiate litigation under subdivision D, paragraph 4 of that government code. It's one case, and there is one existing litigation matter under Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection D1. This is an eminent domain complaint. The name of the case is County of Madera versus Powell Brothers LLC, with additional defendants listed as et al. It's a Madera Superior Court case number MCV 094495. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on these items?
None online.
Thank you. We will recess into closed session. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the April 1st Board of Supervisors meeting. County Council, do we have any reportable actions out of closed session?
Madam Chair, there's no reportable action from your closed session.
Thank you very much. At this time, we will open and close the meeting in memory of. Do we have anyone my colleagues would like to open and close for? Seeing none, we will ask, it's Jesse from the Madera Rescue Mission to lead us in our invocation, and I'll ask Mr. Hart if you'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance after.
Good morning. My name is Jesse Chavez. I'm the executive director at the Madera Rescue Mission and a member of the Madera Ministerial Association. Thank you for the opportunity of opening up in prayer. Let us pray. In Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding." Lord, I pray that the supervisors seek your wisdom for today's agenda. Lord, as the sign says behind them, in God we trust. Thank you that we have a board that cares for this community. May they work in unity. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Help us to rejoice today. In Jesus' name, thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hart. Thank you, Jesse. Um, At this time, we will have public comment. The first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for members of the public to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take action on any items presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record.
Good morning, board. Happy April Fool's Day. That may be an oxymoron, though. I'm not sure. We'll find out. I'm here so often, I feel as if I have to say right off the top, this won't take very long. My name's Dennis Hart. I'm from the Madera County Historical Society, and I have three major things, just short ones today. First, I want to thank everybody here, especially you supervisors, Alex on, for all you have done during the voting for Best Museum in Central California. Right off the top, well, we don't know who won. We're going to find out June 1st. But the energy that was created out of this board and with the video that Alexon put together was incredible in the community. We could see it on our Sunday open houses. It doubled and tripled in size during the voting, and people who came by who had never been to the museum before, didn't even know we had a Madera County Museum, and they were stunned by everything that was there. We are so pleased. We seem to have energized, the campaign seemed to have energized everybody in this community. The Madera Chamber, the city, the Madera Tribune, the school district. We could sense the energy, the excitement. We don't know what it all means, but it put us on the map for a lot of people who apparently never knew that we even existed. And for that, we thank you so very, very much. It was an amazing campaign for us. We had a lot of fun with it. We hope you did too. And I know that the video that the county put together with Alex on got thousands of views within the first few days. Well, that's incredible. So thank you. And we'll find out all together on June 1st as to how we did. Thank you for everything you did. Second thing that I want to talk about is what's in front of you, is the latest book that we've put together on what's in our research library at the museum. We have literally, and you'll see it's hot off the press, April 2025. We have thousands of items in the research library, thousands of files on Madera County people, places, and events. We have hundreds of books about Madera County history and the history of the valley. And we have hundreds of thousands of pages of old newspapers, the Madera Tribune from the early 1900s. Now, we are a research library. We're not a lending library, so you can't check out a book or check out a newspaper, but you can make an appointment, come by, check it out. And with this book, you can find out when you come by the museum within 5 minutes whether we've got what you're seeking. So we're very proud of the book. And the third and final thing, because I know I have 41 seconds left and I'm an old TV guy, so I can get off on time, trust me. I want to thank Supervisor McCauley, who held a town hall at Tesoro Viejo last week, and it was packed. And I was pleased to be part of it. The big conversation, as you might imagine, if you can guess, Highway 41. What's going to happen and when's it going to happen? And I will say this, I think people were satisfied with the answer. They are pleased to know that the highway is going to be expanded. And as you know better than we do, it needs it very badly. So Supervisor, thank you for holding that town hall. And again, board, thank you so much for your support of the museum. We're going to find out in a couple of months how good a museum we are. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dennis. Next, you have 3 minutes.
Good morning. This is Jacqueline Torres Herrera, your Assistant Treasurer Tax Collector, here to welcome everyone back to our office, and taxpayers, welcome back who are coming in. Our office doors are now open. It's beautiful. Please come by and check it out. Also, just wanted to remind everyone that the second installment of property tax collections are due April 10th, which is next Thursday. So if you haven't already paid, that is due next Thursday. And just a reminder that e-checks are free. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Next.
I thought she was going to offer coffee for those who came and visited. Okay.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes. Let's turn on the mic real quick. There you go. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mary Haygood. I'm here for my daughter, Karen Haygood, who lives here in Madera. And she's still very concerned about the illegal trucking company that's supposed to be moving away from her. And there's a lot of exhaust coming in her house, and her daughter now has asthma. And I'm very concerned that we're going to let them have a conditional use permit and then slide right in. And it shouldn't happen because he has another property that's sitting there and he has not started it yet. So I'd like to remind everybody that this is not the way to do things in Madera. Madera should be above this. And I don't know how to get you guys to motivate you, get you to do these things. I don't know. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Haley Walsh of Madera County. I will be talking about the trucking company also. I'm the daughter. This is something that really does need to be handled. I'm starting to have breathing issues because of this, because now we're having the windows open and it smells like diesel. If you know what diesel smells like, it's a very, very strong smell. They say that they have refrigerators, which they do, but at the same time, they don't make that much noise as idling trucks. Idling trucks 24/7 is not okay. It causes health problems throughout the community with the people who are on the side of them and the people who are in behind them. Is not okay. Please do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Jared, you have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jared with Public Works. I have a little announcement I wanted to make, and I've got just a little quick show to a few slides here related to this. So I have here with me Hayden Hinkle. He's Engineer 3 with our department, one of our project managers, oversees a lot of our transportation projects. But I wanted to let you know and share that this last conference we were at with the county engineers and public works, the county was awarded a local streets and roads award for our our Avenue 25 bridge replacement project. So if you don't know about the local streets and road award program, it's a program sponsored by CSAC, the League of Cities, and the County Engineers Association for outstanding local streets and road awards program, highlighting cities and counties that are employing projects, programs, practices, and innovative technologies and materials to achieve preservation, safety, and sustainability goals for the statewide local street and road system. So this program includes all counties and cities within the state of California. So pretty big deal for us to receive this award. This award was in the efficient and sustainable bridge maintenance, construction, and reconstruction category, which includes bridges and grade separation projects that use resources efficiently, employ emergency technologies and materials, progressive preservation programs that improve bridge conditions that are cost effective, creative in planning, design, funding, and implementation over traditional methods, and sustainable from a financial and resource perspective. So the scope of this project included it was a federally funded project through the Highway Bridge Program, so we were able to use federal funds for this. It's approximately $4.5 million project. Replaced the structurally deficient 343-foot, 16-span, cast-in-place reinforced concrete bridge with a more durable, sustainable 320-foot 9-span cast-in-place reinforced concrete slab bridge. We had a lot of challenges with this project, primarily on the environmental side, dealing with some of the constraints on the site. One of the significant challenges was delays due to nesting birds. So we had a point in the project where we actually had to shut down the work to wait for some hawks to leave the premises. But overall, it was a great project, great team effort from everybody who was part of it. Our consultants who worked on the design, the contractor, as well as our construction management consultant, and of course, our team here and Hayden leading the charge on that. And I did just kind of want to let everybody know, sort of a spoiler alert here and sneak peek, with Hayden's work and effort, he has applied for and we've been accepted into the Highway Bridge Program for 15 more bridge projects over the coming years. About $44 million worth of projects that we'll be able to get completed to improve bridges throughout the county. You'll see on the very top left, Avenue 18.5 East Side Bypass Canal. If you guys know, that's the one that's closed due to the storm damage. So we have that project program and prioritized to get that bridge replaced as well. So just wanted to highlight that and give a big thanks to Hayden and all the team. And we're just working away and got a lot more to come. So thank you.
Thank you, Jared
Great job. Fantastic. Great news.
Great job, Jared. And Hayden.
and Hayden. Anyone else? Do we have anyone online?
Done online.
Okay, thank you very much. We will close public comment and move on to our consent calendar. Do my colleagues have any items they wish to pull or discuss?
Chair, I'd like to pull R and just have a question on it.
Okay, item R. Anyone else?
It's an easy question.
Chair, I just have a quick question on B. I was able to speak with our behavioral health team earlier, and they were just going to provide some additional clarification for the public on that item.
So R and B as in boy?
Correct. He is in Bobby.
B as in Bobby.
And R is in Rob.
I had R circled it as well, but that was in Rogers.
You want D or J? Okay, we will start with we'll go in order. Item B.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm just curious if staff can kind of elaborate on how this is compliance with the spend down plan for the opioid settlement.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Aaron Garcia, Fiscal Manager of Behavioral Health Services. Yeah, so the monies are going to be used to fund a deputy sheriff for the Keeping It Real program, which is within the scope of services, as well as a substance abuse counselor, the administrative analyst 2, as well as a health education coordinator for the services being provided to the other 4 services for the plan.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Item R.
Very good. Thank you. Yes, this is a Avenue 16.5 bridge replacement project, and I believe it's over Dry Creek, but regardless, it mentions we're enter an agreement increasing compensation to an amount not to exceed 574,000 some change for additional preliminary engineering service related environmental compliance. I just had a question, Dominic, in regards to what that means as far as environmental compliance, as well as where the 574,000 is coming from.
Absolutely. Dominic Tyberski, Madera County Public Works Director. So the additional scope of work was for environmental studies. The NES study, which is required as part of the project, encountered some additional studies that needed to occur, and so that scope needed to expand. Regarding the funding for this project, being that it is a bridge project, it would come from the HP program.
Very good. I was just wanting to mention that this is an existing bridge. It's been around for a long time, and we're simply looking at replacing it. And there's a cost of almost 575,000 for environmental compliance, which is interesting. And I'm not quite sure what they're going to discover that's going to cause the bridge to not be replaced. But again, it's people wonder why roads cost a lot and why it's roads are in bad shape here in California and in other places. This is an example of overreach and unnecessary expense. So thank you.
Absolutely. If I may add, bridges are particularly difficult because of the additional permitting required, all the biological and environmental studies, and whether it's a natural channel or an irrigation channel, there are state and federal agencies that claim jurisdiction, and you have to engage those agencies. And to keep our funding secure, we have to make sure that we perform all the environmental studies that are identified through the process as needed.
I get it, but this is just another check mark. They're going to get the
Absolutely.
report. They're going to go,
Absolutely.
great, check,
Yes, sir.
move on.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm getting at. I
Understood.
know all about the processes and regulations and the
Yeah.
piles and piles of bureaucracy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Biologist happy.
Yeah, again, it's a check mark.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to go for my 10 o'clock coffee break, 10:30 to 10:45. Okay, it's done. Next, let's go my next coffee break. So that's it for 575,000. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on the consent calendar?
None online.
And online, I'll bring it back to the board for
Move to
action.
approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McCauley,
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you. Item 6A.
Community and Economic Development Department Planning Division, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution approving the amendment to the Planning Commission's Rule of Order.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jamie Bax with Community and Economic Development. Before you are the rules of order for the Planning Commission. We did present these a couple of months ago to the Planning Commission, so they're excited to hear what your board has to say on this particular item. Two notable changes they have requested, or we have requested, are first and foremost, the initial rules of the order did include the appointing board member as to be the person who could remove, which didn't make any sense because if they termed out or weren't reelected, they would no longer be involved. So we did change that language to the current board member having the ability to do that. In addition, we have made a change to the date and time of the Planning Commission from Tuesdays at 6 p.m. to Wednesdays at 10 a.m., same location. I did confirm with surrounding jurisdictions that they are doing similar. Fresno County, Tulare County, Mariposa County, Merced County are all doing the same. So with that, I'm available to answer any questions you might have.
Questions from the board? I have a comment, Jamie. In the board letter, it states that there is no fiscal impact to the general fund, but I'm going to disagree with that a little bit because planning commission meetings are in the evenings. You have staff that's staying after hours, working late hours into the night sometimes. And so while some of them may be salaried employees, or I just feel that I think there is some savings. So I think kudos to you guys for doing that and not having to stay, sometimes you have them in Oakhurst or the mountains and you have staff coming down late hours at night. So I think that there is some general savings,
Thank you.
some savings to the general fund, and I appreciate that. So
Thank you.
do we have any public comment on this item?
None online.
Bring it back to the board.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamhaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley,
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You.
Item 6B.
Human Resources Department, discussion and consideration of approval to ratify a memorandum of understanding between Madera County and the postgraduate licensed professional unit for a one-year term from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair. Sabrina Mendez, Department of Human Resources. Oh, excuse me. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Sabrina Mendez, Department of Human Resources. The memorandum of understanding between the county and the postgraduate licensed professional unit expired on June 30th, 2024. And as a result, the county began negotiating with the unit for a successor MOU.
And the item before you are the items that were agreed upon, as well as the MOU for your review and consideration for ratification. I'm available for any questions if you may have.
Do you have any questions from the board?
Yes, Chair. Being that this agreement's going to be expiring in just a couple months, are we already working on the successor here to make sure that we're not seeing this 7 or 8 months after the fact next year? Or?
Yes, we are currently working with some units. We have reached out to some units. We will be working on reaching out to other units. I will say that part of the delay in establishing a successor MOU was because we were negotiating the class and comp study, and that took precedence or was what we were working towards on resolving before we worked on this MOU.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Do we have any public comment on this item?
None online.
I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McCauley,
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you. Item 6C.
Human Resources Department, discussion and consideration of approval to ratify a memorandum of understanding between Madera County and the Probation Administrators Unit for a 1-year term from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
Yes, good morning again. So this item is similar to the previous item. This contract between the county and the probation administrators unit also expired on June 30th, 2024. And so before you is the new successor MOU through June 30th, 2025, and it's before you for your review and consideration.
Questions, comments from the board? Anybody from the public?
None online.
Approve?
Second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
And item 6D.
Human
Yes.
Resources Department, discussion and consideration of approval to ratify a memorandum of understanding between Madera County and the Correctional Officers Unit for a 1-year term from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
Yes, good morning again. This item is also an MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding between Madera County and the Correctional Officer Unit, also expired on June 30th, 2024. So before you is the result of negotiating with the Correctional Officer Unit. The MOU is before you for your review and consideration.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Any from the public?
None online.
Bring it back to the board.
Move to approve.
Second?
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Item 6E.
Madera County Economic Development Commission, discussion and consideration of approval of the Madera County Economic Development Commission basic service level budget in the amount of $231,515.33 for fiscal year 2025, 2026.
Thank you. Welcome, Christina.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. Once again, I'm Christina Gallagher, the Executive Director of the Madera County Economic Development Commission. I'm here before you today to discuss the MCEDC's budget request, as well as give you an overview of MCEDC and our goals for this year. I apologize. Version of this. So some of the things we focus on at MCEDC are marketing, lead generation and tracking, and our membership in different organizations. In addition, I like to periodically provide legislative and state budget updates related to economic development to make sure our executive committee and our board have a full picture of the state economy. MCEDC's mission is simple. It's to market Madera in such a way that would maximize its economic viability and increase employment opportunities. The goal for MCEDC is to bring in businesses that provide living wage jobs and benefits that would in turn allow for residents of Madera to live where they work, be able to purchase homes, and ultimately get out of the cycle of poverty. As you may know, Madera County's unemployment rate is 8.5% as opposed to 5.5% in California. My goal for MCEDC is to reduce those numbers and create a better quality of life for all residents of Madera. We maintain and actively use our newsletter, which is comprised of site selectors, real estate brokers, investors, and other stakeholders. We use our newsletter to share available properties and economic development news that is happening in Madera, as well as share key events that are happening in the community. Additionally, we're active at different trade shows throughout the year where we have an opportunity to cultivate relationships with developers, real estate brokers, and site selectors that can ultimately result in bringing back different types of businesses back into Madera. We continue to strengthen our relationships with brokers and site selectors who we meet by staying in communication with them throughout the year. So that leads me to this next slide. Our new website, which has been known as the #1 lead generator of leads, is now up and running. We recently hired our new marketing manager, Elena Estrada, who has been amazing at ironing out final details and fixing bugs. So we're still working on adding some information, but overall, it is modern and much more user-friendly. And additionally, we receive leads through Central Valley Economic Development Corporation, which we're a member of, as well as GoBiz, and requests from brokers and site selection companies. So as I mentioned before, I come from the policy world up in Sacramento, and I've been using my legislative experience to update the executive committee and the MCEDC board on legislative and state budget activities that may affect economic development in Madera. Some examples include updates on AB 98, which would be detrimental to development in the Central Valley due to its new regulations on warehouses if it doesn't get amended, the current state of the economy in California, the state budget, and updates on CARB's advanced clean fleets regulations. We have regular contact with the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. We host meetings with the Greater Madera County Industrial Association that we meet with every single month, and we're very active in the Central Valley Economic Development Corporation, which is an eight-county effort to market the Central Valley as a whole. And then we're also involved with the California Association for Local Economic Development, especially on the legislative side. So finally, for our budget request, the county covers our basic service level budget at 49.69%. The city of Madera covers 41.77%, while the city of Chowchilla covers 8.54%, all based proportionally on population. The 2025-26 budget has an increase of $7,175.92, which totals to $231,515.33. And what that is covering is increases in operational expenses, including salary adjustments, increases in insurance and audit expenses, and conference and trainings for new staff. So our total budget request for fiscal year 2025-26 from all the local government agencies in the JPA would equate to $465,919.35. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Chair,
Supervisor Poitras.
I'd just like to thank you, Christina. She's been on board since November and has done a great job. And we have Lois, and who's new on the job as well, and Elena. But it's a great team, and they're small in number, but they're very, very effective and a lot of enthusiasm. And Christina, what's coming up on the 18th, I believe? Is it the 18th?
So it's actually on the 17th.
17th, okay,
So
gotcha.
our economic summit is going to be at the Municipal Madeira Golf Course, and it's going to be at 11:30. And I would love it for all of you to come. Yeah, we have 2 great speakers already, and yeah, excited for my first economic summit.
That's great. I'm looking out here and I see so many people. I can see their eyes right now about the excitement about.
There you go.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Just want to get that plug in.
Thank you. Anyone else? I will open it up for public comment. Anyone from the public?
None online.
Then I will bring it back to the board.
Funding this from the same source
Yes.
previous. I move to approve.
And I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Rogers,
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley,
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 6F.
Public Works Department, Engineering Services Division, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution approving the acquisition of rights of the right-of-way easements, other properties for use with the State Route 41 South Expressway project and authorize the Director of Public Works to execute all related documents and approve related budget expenditures for the project.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, Dominic Tyberski, Madera County Public Works Director. I'm before you this morning to request approval of a resolution authorizing acquisition of rights of way and easements for use on the State Route 41 South Expressway project. Additionally, the resolution authorizes the Public Works Director to execute all related documents and approve related budget expenditures. A similar resolution was approved by your board on January 7th of this year. However, the authorization was constrained at $12 million, which was prior to the completion of all property appraisals. Based on the total initial appraised value exceeding the previously authorized amount and the need for the ability to negotiate sales agreements and pay for additional entitlements such as third-party appraisals and moving expenses, the department is requesting this limit be increased to $20 million. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Any questions from the board? Do you have any public comment on this item?
None online.
Then online, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Move for approval?
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers,
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley,
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you very much, Dominic.
Thank you.
Item 6G.
Sheriff Coroner's Office, introduction of an ordinance to amend Chapter 9.36 of Title 9 of the Madera County Code pertaining to fireworks, waive the first reading and set the second reading for April 8th, 2025.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. I am Tyson Pogue, your sheriff and our emergency services director for beautiful Madera County. Appreciate the opportunity to be here today and present an important update regarding our county's firework ordinance. Illegal fireworks are no longer just a seasonal nuisance. We know firsthand how dangerous and destructive they can be. Each year, illegal fireworks are responsible for structure fires, wildfires, serious injuries, and extensive property damage across California. They pose a particular threat in rural and high-risk fire communities like ours. Outside of noise complaints, illegal fireworks are one of the most common quality of life complaints we receive. And while the noise is frustrating, it's the fire danger that makes the issue a priority. Today, I'm asking for your support in adopting an ordinance to amend Chapter 9.36 of the Madera County Code. This update focuses on enhancing public safety, modernizing our code, and giving our deputies and fire personnel clear, enforceable tools. There are a few key changes of the proposed ordinance. We've added clear definitions for dangerous fireworks, safe and sane fireworks, and other items. This makes the ordinance more enforceable. The old ordinance restricted to fireworks, quote, east of the Madera Canal. This revised version clarifies the restrictions of the prohibited fireworks to the state responsibility areas. Essentially, it's the same, it's just a little bit more clear. Now, permits to sell fireworks will now be restricted to nonprofit organizations headquartered in Madera County. This is consistent with other modern ordinances. Many nonprofits rely on these sales as a primary fundraiser, and this approach ensures that the opportunity remains with organizations that serve our local communities. Based on some public feedback, we've included a grandfather clause allowing current for-profit sellers with valid 2024 permits to continue selling in the future. We've added some safety standards to the fireworks stands, including they must now meet updated safety protocols, including a 30-foot clearance zone from flammable materials, no smoking signs on all sides of the stands, fire extinguishers on site, and compliance with all the zoning and access requirements. This ordinance further prohibits minors from using fireworks unless they're under direct adult supervision. And the most important update is that the ordinance now holds property owners accountable for violations that occur on their property, even if they don't personally ignite the fireworks. Under the current ordinance and state law, violators must be caught in the act and identified in order for a citation to be issued, and that makes enforcement extremely difficult. This update allows the citations to be issued to the homeowner, which holds them responsible for the actions of their guests. The ordinance introduces a tiered penalty system, the first offense being 1,000, the second 5,000, and the third and subsequent offenses are 10,000. Those found in violation may also be held financially responsible for emergency response costs. These tools are going to give us some real leverage to act before a tragedy occurs. We modeled this ordinance after successful examples from around the state and pulled in language that reflects a balanced community-oriented approach. In developing this ordinance, we consulted with the District Attorney's Office, CAL FIRE, Community Economic Development, and other stakeholders from previous discussions. We also consulted with our partners at the Madera and Chowchilla Police Departments in the hope that they will consider adopting similar ordinances to give us consistency throughout the county. This ordinance provides a framework to manage fireworks responsibly, support local nonprofit fundraising, and protect our residents, properties, and landscapes from dangerous and illegal aerial fireworks. We've worked hard to bring forward a common sense enforceable update that prioritizes public safety, gives us the tools to address a problem that's only grown worse with each passing year. Appreciate your time and happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you, Sheriff. Do we have any questions from the board? Supervisor McCullough.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I just want to, for the benefit of the public, I think we talked about this last time, just reiterate that this does not impact an organized fireworks show like you'd see up in Bass Lake. So those folks can continue to still work with CAL FIRE and the fire marshal on applying to do those shows. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. There's no change on our outdoor firework performances.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I just have a question in regards to, Sheriff, you mentioned that the other jurisdictions were setting the example. You hope they'll follow suit. Have there been discussions with the other jurisdictions, and thus far, what has the response been?
Yeah, so we collaborated during the development with the hope that all of the ordinances match. And in the end, they obviously have to pass their own, but we hope that they model it after ours. And we did include them in the discussions so that they did have input that was worked out up front.
Gotcha. So it just kind of depends on what their elected bodies move forward with or decide or something. So,
that's right.
Okay,
yeah.
very good. Thank you.
But the hope is we presented I believe, a good ordinance, and we're hopeful that they'll mirror ours.
Very good. Thank you.
Supervisor Wimoff.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Sheriff, for all the hard work you've done in amending this ordinance. I know this has been a couple years in the making, and we wanted to get this done before the 4th of July fireworks season. So I want to thank you and your team and those who have put the hard work in amending this order and listening to all the feedback. I do have a question about the violation the violation section when it comes to a homeowner or property owner being responsible versus an individual, because on the violation section, it only references people, except on the collection and response costs where it talks about putting liens on properties. And maybe I missed it, but where's the section that shows that the individual, or not just the individual, but the property owner is liable for a penalty? I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry. It's under the section where it says violation dash penalty. It just says any responsible person violating under the provisions is guilty of misdemeanor.
It's under the definitions, section E. Responsible person shall mean a person who causes a violation of this chapter to occur or allows a violation to exist or continue by his or her action or failure to act, or whose agent, employee, or independent contractor causes a violation to occur or allows a violation to exist or continue. There's a rebuttable presumption that the record owner of a residence parcel as shown on the county's latest equalized property tax assessment rolls, and leasee of a residence parcel has notice of any violation existing on said property.
Great, thank you for that. So just for the public to be aware that this is perhaps the biggest change that we have in this ordinance, because catching individuals who light off these illegal fireworks, from a law enforcement perspective is extremely difficult to be able to identify one individual person who lights off that particular firework, because typically there's 15, 20 people around, and it's very, very difficult to do that. So for the public's knowledge, that if there's illegal fireworks being lit off at a property, that property owner could get fined regardless of who lit it off. Whether it's a rental property, doesn't matter. So that's the biggest teeth that this new ordinance has. So thank you very much for all the work, and hopefully we see a difference. I think we will. It's going to be a marketing and PR effort to get it out there to let people know that this new ordinance is in effect, and I'm sure Alexon is going to be right on it to push this out. But thank you for getting this done. I think that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, thank you, Supervisor Walmoff. As you stated, it's extremely hard, especially in the rural areas because of the large parcel sizes, for us to accurately identify specifically which person is setting off the firework. And it's nearly impossible to make that identification and cite them as we currently are.
Right.
This will give us a lot more enforceable teeth, and I extremely appreciate all the input and help you've provided on this, especially with your law enforcement background and stuff. So appreciate your help.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes, I'm grateful for all the work that you put into this, and just a general question on identifying if you get a call and the person making the call knows the address and what have you. And does that give you probable cause to be able to, if you see a mortar there, that's sufficient to understand that this is where it went off, and you can ticket that particular residence?
Yeah, ideally, once we're called to a location from someone reporting it, or whether the deputies are driving, going through an area and see it on their own, they will physically see it themselves from where it's coming from. Obviously, a lot of homeowners may not want to be witnesses some of these
Right.
administrative actions. So
Right.
they can file those, but ideally, we want the deputies to be out there and see them, and
Right.
that way the other homeowners don't have.
Right. Can you confiscate any illegal fireworks upon finding them?
Yeah, so illegal aerial fireworks or non-safe and sane fireworks are illegal in California statute. We can already seize
okay.
those.
Great.
And so we do every year seize quite a large quantity. We turn them over to the fire department for inspection.
Right. Yeah, I think this is really important. People don't understand how serious this is. I've had a mortar fired it almost went in my house. That's how close. It tipped over apparently. My neighbor came over and apologized, but I was like, you need to rethink what you're doing. And it's a serious thing. So I appreciate all the work you've done on this. Not only that, the noise ordinance, everything you're doing, you guys are really on what the public needs are, and I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. And I'll move to approve.
I will hold off until we get public comment on this item. Any public comment?
None online.
Move to waive the first reading and set the second hearing.
You're here for public. Okay. Let's get public comment real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see anybody coming out. I apologize.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name's Harlan Horvath. I live in Fresno County. I'm an area manager for TNT Fireworks. I know my general manager, Lewis, has been working with the Sheriff's Department closely with revision of the ordinance, and we thank them. We thank the board for being willing to look at it a second time, and we support the changes, and we just want to pass along the thanks of the two for-profit individuals. They're very appreciative of you letting them continue their endeavors, and we just want to show our thanks for everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will close public comment and bring it back. We have a first by Supervisor Rogers.
Thank you.
I'll
Second.
second.
We have a second and a third. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley?
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff. Item 7, pending legislation, 7A.
County Administration Department discussion and consideration to authorize a letter of support for AB 1479 as introduced by Assemblyman David Angipa relating to the county roads and the streets and highway code.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairwoman and Board. This letter is on behalf of ourselves, really, supporting a bill that was introduced for us by Assemblymember Tangaba. And the letter is directed to the Chair of the Assembly Local Government Committee, has to do with our desire to rearrange how we do the road commissioner, to abolish that position and assign those duties to the Public Works Director. The hearing for this is set, I believe, for the 8th of April, so it would be best if we could approve it today and get it sent on to the chair and to the other people who are CC'd here.
Thank you. Do we have any questions of staff? Do we have any public comment on this item?
None online?
I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a first by Supervisor Wamhoff, a second by Supervisor McCauley. Roll call vote, please.
I'm sorry, the first was Supervisor
Wamhaugh.
Wamhoff.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
And there was a minor typographical error in the original version that was sent around. We gave you a new version prior to 10 and made copies of that version available to the clerk prior to US considering this item.
Thank you very much. Okay, that leads us to supervisor and staff reports at 10:51 a.m. We are moving. Supervisor Rogers.
Yes, I attended the MCTC and the Regional Health Authority since our last meeting.
Thank you. Supervisor McCauley.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, a couple things to update the board on. One, I want to let everybody know that our Valley Air District has scheduled a vehicle replacement program. If you're not familiar with those, it'll be on April 8th at the Madera Fairgrounds, but you know, folks that are unable to pass smog can go down and get vouchers to help them pass smog. They can also get some subsidies to help them upgrade their old or dirty vehicle to a clean air vehicle. So it's a great program for folks in the Valley, and they'll be again in Madera on the 8th. Also, last Friday, we had some confusion around Yosemite and a reservation system. They announced it, and then they quickly rescinded that announcement. So I want to thank Congressman McClintock's office for their work around that, advocating for our gateway communities and ensuring that our voices are heard around things like reservation systems, visitor access management plans, in Yosemite. That's a big deal for the economy up there. I also want to announce on March 22nd, we were able to open a new state park in Madera County at Wildwood Regional Park, just on the border of Fresno and Madera, right off the corner of 41. Also, Dennis mentioned it earlier, on March 24th, I was able to host a town hall at Tesoro Viejo. So I want to thank Sheriff Pogue, Assistant Sheriff Clark, Lieutenant Blem, Dominic Trubisky, and Jamie Bax for their attendance, Chief Overbay as well, for their attendance at that town hall and their support there. Not lastly, but on March 25th, we were able to open up the River Grove Apartments. So that is, I believe, 70 units in Oakhurst. It was a lot of great stories from residents that had been forced to move out of the area, but were able to move back, or were, previously living on couches and now have places to live. So just a great project in the Oakhurst area. But I want to thank our behavioral health director, Chrissy Doss, as well as Maddie Mendez with CAPT-MC and Shannon Shield with our behavioral health department for all their work on getting, residents in those apartments. And then lastly, last Thursday, I was able to attend the state's wildfire task force on wildfire and forest resilience. Is a great opportunity to learn about some of the state's priorities around how we can improve the conditions on our public lands and private lands. So it was a great opportunity. So that's it.
Thank you. Supervisor Wamhoff.
Yeah, last Monday, I attended with my colleague here, Rob Poitras, and some others from the county ICSC, which is the International Conference of Shopping Centers, where, and it was in Monterey. It's a really terrible place to be. And so that was the only negative part about it. But it's great to go to those types of things and meet with some of those retailers and see what their interests are when it comes to coming to a place like Madera. We were there representing community and economic development, and since Supervisor Poitras and I sit on the EDC board as well, but it was great to just kind of see how that process works, seeing how developers and brokers and retailers come together and what are some of those decision-making processes for retailers to actually come to a particular area. So it was enlightening to hear, enlightening to be a part of that process and let people know that Madera County is open for business and that we have a great place to live, work, and play, and that they should come to Madera. That's all I have for that. And I do want to remind folks that I do have a coffee and conversation. It's going to be April 9th, Wednesday, April 9th at the Ranchos Library at 8:30 in the morning. We are switching them from evenings and mornings to get a more diverse crowd for those that work during the day, that they can come during the evening. But this next one is going to be in the morning, Wednesday, April 9th, 8:30 a.m. Ranchos Library. We're going to have a lot of the same county folks that were at Supervisor McCauley's. Not sure about Mr. Tyberski, but we'll definitely have Matt Treber, Chief Overbay, DA Sally Moreno, Sheriff Pogue, and others as well. Talk about all things the county: roads, water, law enforcement, public safety, traffic infrastructure, and those types of things. So for those that can make it, I hope to see you there. Thanks.
Thank you. Supervisor Poitras.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'd just like to just add on to the ICSC conference, and we need to issue the Mr. Courage Award to Matt Treber. He attended, he nearly succumbed to his allergies, and yet he made all the meetings, worked all night on the Highway 41 issue. And so I'd just like to thank you, Matt, for working through all those physical maladies. So excellent, excellent. Also, I had a chance to attend the RCRC meeting in Sacramento on Wednesday morning, and we had a good meeting, had a presentation by Wade Crowfoot, and he is a master. I just want to say he is so positive as far as responding without saying anything. And, it's kind of like somebody brings something up. He says, we need to have a conversation about that. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Next, we need to have a conversation about that. So so I just want to congratulate him. I don't know. I see that, I know my colleague, Mr. McCauley, had a chance to meet with Wade as well. But anyway, I need to learn from him. Also, I have a question, Bobby. Do you have a voucher that's worth 25% more if I want to buy a clean vehicle that's a foreign vehicle? So just wondering.
And I'm not sure the Air District has taken that up yet.
Gosh, just want to throw that out there. And then the last thing is, on that Wednesday afternoon, I had a CalVans meeting, executive meeting, where we're looking at the organization and adding some administrative strength to it so that we can be more effective. We have huge demand for the CalVan model throughout the state, and it's one of the few government programs that actually pays for itself. So with that, thank you.
Thank you. I'll just report really quickly that March was Women's History Month, and we had a very full calendar of activities happening throughout the county of Madera. There was a lot of great women that were recognized by several organizations and entities. Jessica Malgosa was one of the ladies that was recognized by the city of Madera. So congratulations on that. But we had some from the Madera County Women's Network, who, again, Jessica spearheaded that effort, along with a great team. And so thank you all very much for such a successful event. I want to thank my colleagues for participating as well. It was just a great way to wrap up or to celebrate Women's History Month. I also participated in the new employee orientation. I got to do the welcome on behalf of the board. That's always fun to see the new employees. And so thank you, HR, for inviting me to do that. And also, I was able to represent the board at the food bank grand opening. If you weren't there, you were in Monterey, or I don't know where else you could have been, but I think everybody was there. So it was such a joyous occasion, and I want to thank the staff for working with the food bank. It's just an incredible project. So if you haven't had a chance to tour the facility, please go by. And I wanted to commend Alex on the video that he has created. I shot him an email yesterday about all of the great work that he's doing on behalf of the public information team. He's had over 11,000 views just on the food bank opening. And so thank you for putting Madera County on the map and for highlighting a lot of the great things that we do, because we don't always get to see the great stuff. So really appreciate all your efforts. Yeah, that deserves a clap. Right? And then this afternoon, Supervisor McCauley and I have the GSA committee meeting today at 1:30 for anyone who's interested in coming. CAO
something.
Varney. Oh,
Yeah, I forgot something real quick here. You made me think of it. I had the GSA meeting the same time as the food bank opening. I was really disappointed not to be able to go to that because the RHA is heavily vested in that. They've contributed a lot of money, as well as Madera County, and of course Ryan McWhirter is a friend of mine for the last 30 years. So I really am proud of Ryan and proud of his efforts and what he's accomplished, and everybody involved in the food bank. Thank you.
Thank you, CAO Varney.
Thank you. I wasn't able to attend a few of those ribbon cuttings. I did note as I left River Grove that one of the naysayers on that project was outside filming the cars parked legally on the street. I think there was a lot more people there that ribbon cutting than people expected, and their stories about what this means to them personally for their lives was very interesting to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
County Council.
Madam Chair, just a couple county council type reports. The first is that today Form 700s are due to net file. So just a reminder to take the time to get those filed. You usually know if you have to file, but if not, if you're on the county's conflict of interest policy, your title, then that's you, and you can always ask myself ask me if there's any questions. And then the other is that Human Resources did a great job of getting out our biannual ethics trainings. We got notice of that, I think, yesterday, and that's due April 30th. It will be online using the Fair Political Practices Commission training. So exciting stuff. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And Clerk of the Board.
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Okay, with that, our next meeting is scheduled for April 8th, and we will. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I apologize, Matt Treber. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Get it right.
I'll just piggyback briefly on Supervisor Wamhoff and Poitras, and also to Christina Gallagher and EDC. I have received already 3 phone calls from folks that we met with out at ICSC, inquiring about more information, specifically a vacant large building up at Oakhurst, 426 and 41, and interest also through District 1 and some of the other locations actually in the city of Madera too. Reached out. So again, I got a call back. I got one this morning from folks that came out of those meetings that we had over in Monterey at ICSC. So it's been a good conference, and hopefully we get some good activity out of those beyond some phone calls and follow-ups. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, our next meeting is April 8th, and with that, we will adjourn.